Hello, everybody. It is Craig, whisperinstoryteller here, and I hope you are well. And as always, I hope you are nice and super relaxed and lying on a bed, sofa, nice and comfortable. And it's our time here, so our time to forget the world and just to catch up with each other, you and I. So, this is my monthly ramble, and I really enjoy doing these. And this is where we just catch up on life and what has been happening. Um, yeah. So, today's date, let's just have a check here. It's Saturday, the 30th of March. So tomorrow is the last day of the month, and then we start on Easter Monday with April the 1st, which is when this video will be going out. No April Fool's joke. So, what has been going on in the month of March? Well, let's have a think. Quite a bit for me, actually. How was it for you? You can put in the comments how your month's been. I was even considering doing a live feed at some point because we can actually converse together then, can't we? Just I've never done a live feed. I just need to, yeah, figure it out, I guess. Just taking in this nice, quiet ambience. I don't generally do rambles late at night. I'm usually a morning person, but I just figured tonight it was a nice chance to just do something because sometimes on a morning the dog is lively and barking at the window, and everybody else has got to kind of hold their breath if I'm doing ASMR. So I thought, while everyone's quite chilled out, I will just come upstairs and do a video. And it's so quiet. Right, so let's let's talk about March. How's March been? Well, oop. Well, March for me has been significant because I left my job. I took the plunge and just left it. The reason I left it is because I was contacted by somebody that I used to work with many years ago. Well, I'm saying many years ago. It was actually 5 years ago, 2019. We parted paths because my long-term job that I had for many, many, many years, 18 years, came to an end, and we redundant. So my old boss kind of went her way, and I went my way, took a year out, and went to Australia, did a bit of travelling around. It was a fantastic year. And then COVID hit, and the world went to pieces. I'm going to try and keep the whisper down, keep it super quiet. But yes, I left my old job, and I took a week off. So I was actually technically unemployed for 1 week. I just thought I would like to have some spare time, some downtime, which I never get a chance to have. So luckily I had some annual leave built up, which kind of took me right up in terms of pay to when I started the new job, which was just Monday gone. But in that week off, well, I had a week and 2 days actually. So I had something like 65 hours holiday to use. So I had a Reiki session. So have you ever had a Reiki session? Oh, it is amazing. Absolutely so relaxing. Oh, it was unreal. So a friend of mine did the Reiki session, and I just was so super relaxed. And she plucked out all of the negative energy like this. And she used crystals and incense, and she did a chakra cleanse. So she started at the crown and went down to the throat, the chest, etc. And it was just so sublime. I can't wait to have another session. But that week off was just so relaxing. I didn't sort of do nothing. I did some jobs. I painted the kitchen. I got rid of the old sofa I had in the kitchen diner, and I got a table from my sister, a dining table, so we put that in the kitchen diner. So I had a couple of days painting the whole kitchen, and it's super nice. I don't mind doing things like that. I put my earpods in, well, my Galaxy version, what they called again, Galaxy Buds. But I started listening to a few podcasts, and one of the things I listen to, I can just go into another world just listening to podcasts or music, because it's just so relaxing. I didn't have to look at the time. I just lost myself in work with these earphones in. But I listened to some spooky podcasts. So there's this podcast on the BBC Sounds podcast. You can play this anywhere in the world, but it's a British podcast made here, and it's called the Battersea Poltergeist. The Battersea Poltergeist. I highly recommend it. It is absolutely gripping. So it tells the story of a poltergeist case which was in the 1950s in England, and it lasted for 10 years. And the story follows the victim, which was this young girl called Shirley, and it follows her. She's still alive today, and it follows all of the incidents that took place. And it was mad because the house that they lived in, which was just a basic terraced house, meaning it's attached to more houses. It doesn't stand on its own. Things would happen like things would go missing, things would rise in the air, furniture would be thrown around. This girl levitated. It was rappings and noises, and it just became this. It grew arms and legs because this guy who came to investigate the case started to become a little bit obsessed and kind of started camping in the kitchen of this family home, and he became convinced that the spirit that was haunting this family was actually related to French royalty back in the Revolution. And such a fascinating story, but I really recommend you listen to it. It runs for about 10 episodes, and it was just so gripping, but I absolutely lost myself in that podcast. But then I started to listen to another podcast by the same guy who wrote The Battersea Poltergeist, and it was called Uncanny, and Uncanny kind of follows different stories. You could contact the guy Danny Robbins, and he will, if it strikes a chord with him, he would cover the story in one of the episodes. But there's a different ghost story or paranormal UFO story every episode, and it's amazing and really spooky. But I loved it. I'm a few episodes in now. But that's what I did that week. I listened to ghost stories, and I painted, had a Reiki session, as I mentioned. I cut the grass in my garden. So it's been a long winter in England. It's been so wet and windy, and so I thought I'm going to try and get a couple of days dry in weather, because the grass was just sodden and all marshy. When you walked on it, you could hear the squelch under your feet. So I managed to get the grass cut, so that was nice. So by the time I did start the new role, the new job, I felt as if I had a nice break. Not having to get up early in the mornings, not working long shifts, but just kicking back and relaxing, and I so enjoyed it. Yeah, it was fantastic. I loved it. And then last weekend, I started to get a little bit worried about the new job, as you do. So all last weekend, I was thinking, what's it going to be like? Am I going to like it? Will they like me? Yeah, and I think you can overthink things and just find worries when there's nothing to worry about. How do you approach new jobs? What mindset do you put yourself in? But in order to try and stop me from overthinking, I did a bit of manifestation. So what I did there with manifestation, I would write on an A4 sheet of paper, and I would just talk about all the great things that I wanted to attract. One thing I want to attract is a really as if I've got an identity, and that's what I wanted to manifest. And yeah, write all the things in life that you're thankful for. So I aimed to write a whole side of A4 paper with affirmations and positive thinking, and that kind of shifted my mindset, if you like, to be just a little bit more on the positive side instead of worrying, because we can all worry a little bit too much and create problems when there isn't any problems. And of course, starting a new job is always going to be a little bit daunting because we kind of don't know what we're going into, do we? So I drove out of, that was a 3/4 of an hour drive on Monday morning. So I jumped in the car and put the address in the sat nav, and off I went. And the drive was fine. The drive was really nice and relaxing. And when I got there, I was greeted by my old boss and our new boss. So we line into this really lovely guy, and I got my laptop and my email Outlook address, and opened up my system, if you like, and just learned the ropes of the job, like starting to kind of piece together what the daily routine looks like in this new job. So Tuesday, I was actually working from home for the first time. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday were all kind of based around me working, and virtual hookups, virtual meetings. So the whole job role revolves around team calls, Microsoft Teams. So really I haven't had an office job like this since 2019 when I left my long-term job. But Microsoft has grown arms and legs in that time, and it's all down to the pandemic. The virtual video calling is absolutely amazing. Now, I was a little bit worried about feeling isolated working from home in a new job where you can't just kind of ask the person next to you or in front of you. Your team isn't there, you're kind of sitting alone, but you never really feel isolated because everybody's just there if you need to speak to them. So yes, it's a little bit odd because I'm used to being in person, but the world has definitely changed so much in this kind of role. And yeah, it's been interesting, but it's been very, very enjoyable. I've enjoyed every moment of working and getting to know people and just understanding how things join together and connect together and people. So next week I'm planning on just having a few one-to-ones with a few people just to try and get to know them. But how do you find working in a virtual office? I'm taking it's the same everywhere. It'll be the same in the US as it is in the UK. But how do you find it? It would be good to get some tips about how to work from home effectively. And I already know that regular exercise is an absolute must. So I'm going to be joining the gym and putting some sessions in, either before my shift or after my shift. I do swim once a week, so I'm going to keep that going. it seems to be a really nice job. Once I get my head around my duties, my remit, hopefully I can be a little bit more autonomous and not have to keep checking in to see what needs doing. But at the minute, it's all about getting up to date with your onboarding and your training sessions, etc. So, hopefully, in a few weeks, I'll be really settled in. That's what I would like to have. I'd like to aim to get in that headspace. Yeah, so there you go. A new job, completely different routine. But it's all nice. It's all good. Um, all good. I go to London next week for a team meet, and then we've got a big event in Birmingham, I think coming in June. So there's a lot to plan, but it's all exciting. I'm really enjoying it. What else has been happening? Well, that's my big news. Is that other things apart from that is just, yeah, the Reiki was great. Photographs, yeah. So we've got a big family birthday coming up, 70th birthday, and I tend to be the family historian. I took all of the grandparents' photographs and whatever, but I seem to be the archivist unofficially. And so I'm digging out photographs of my auntie, my mum's sister, and putting together a montage of photographs from her youthful years as far as we can. So we're aiming to have this photo bucket app. Have you heard of Photo Bucket? It's a file sharing app. But we want to have it where people can upload photographs to this application. So I'm scanning photographs at the moment, but I realise that all of the photographs that I have are just lying in a box, all loose and falling around everywhere in all different sizes, that kind of thing. So I bought this really cool photo storage box that holds something like 1,000 photographs, if not more. I think there's more. But inside it's got this fireproof box. It's very soft, but it's fireproof. And inside it's got all of these little plastic boxes that you can label. And I've started to put them as 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 80s, 90s, etc. And just categorizing the photographs and placing them in the relevant box. I keep knocking the arm with the microphone. I don't know if that made a sound there. But yes, but what I have found is that it doesn't take photographs much bigger than, say, this. So there's a lot of photographs which are outsized, because in the 90s, I would say onwards, photographs became a lot bigger. But this only takes regular sized photographs. So yes, so I've dug out a few photographs already, but you know what it's like when you start looking through photographs. You start to look at this one, that one, and go down memory lane a little bit. And yeah, it's super nice. Yeah. I don't even know why I've mentioned photographs. Just something I've been doing today, just looking for photographs of my aunt in the 50s, 60s, 70s, when she was a lot younger. today is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a family gathering. A lot of fun. She loves to sing. So I'm sure that we'll be all singing on karaoke and having a good time. So yesterday was Good Friday, and the good thing is this new job of mine, we don't work bank holidays. So that means I was off yesterday, I've been off today, don't work weekends either. And Monday is also a bank holiday, so I'm not back till Tuesday. So that's really nice as well, and I've just started the job. But tomorrow is Easter Sunday, and I'm going to meet with a good friend from my old job, a wonderful guy who is starting a YouTube channel himself soon. And yeah, we very, very alike. We're very much got the same kind of interests and maybe the same outlook. And I'm looking forward to going into town tomorrow and, having a coffee, maybe some food and just catching up and having a good chat. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got no other plans. I don't know what I'm doing on Monday. But Easter Monday, I'm just going to probably relax. Yeah. So there you go. That was my March. It's been a month of change, and yeah, it hasn't been a bad month at all. It's been quite enjoyable. How's your month been? Do let me know how it's been. But yeah, and I do hope you are enjoying the content I'm putting out. I know they're a little bit random, but it's a pleasure to do it, and I enjoy it. And anyway, I am going to sign off and go and get a beer, I think. I'm going to have a late night beer and yeah, relax and turn in probably soon. But I'm going to say good night, and I will be back for another ramble at the end of April. So, sweet dreams, my good friends, and I will see you all very, very, very soon.